Alright, check it out. 94 Caprice LS swap. Got it done. Run on the Holley Terminator X Max. I got the fuel gauge, the battery. I didn't have sensors to do the oil pressure or coolant, but that's why you have the 3.5-inch handheld. Pop the hood real quick. Yeah. Getting ready to go on the first drive. I'm gonna bring it over to my buddy Sam at Sal's garage, and he's gonna do the AC real quick. And I did the intake tube. Got the AC lines all done on the sand-in with the ICT bracket, which needs to be shimmed out. The belt is a little misaligned. Power steering I did with some, I didn't do the ICT kit. I did, I just bought the 3 fittings and used the AN line. So everything's hooked up, good to go. The fuel pressure regulator's up there. I got all the wiring tidied up, what needs to be hooked up. So yeah, we're gonna go for a ride. I gotta grab the SD card real quick and then I'll be right back. All right, so it's running about 202. The fans are not what I would put personally. They kind of sit off the radiator. They don't have a shroud, but 31 pounds of oil pressure. The manifold temp, the intake temp, IAT, it reads MAT. That sensor actually, I went through and put it in and then found out that there's no sensor inside of it when I went to plug it in. So, but the DR44 alternator just wired direct to batteries, charging at 13.8 volts, and it pretty much stays there the entire time. So we're gonna take it for a drive and see how it does. Goes into gear, that's a good thing. Actually, I'm gonna turn the data log on. Nice of you to steer into me, buddy. So it should stay on. This might not be in the best spot, but can already tell the alignment is pretty far off. That'll be kind of up to the owner. hiccup. Not sure if it's just the learning or if it's something with the pump. They need to go to a bigger pump over the stock pump. Speedometer's working, kind of flickering on the screen, but so yeah, I mean everything's kind of there and working. I'll go through and tidy up the tune, change the pump if I have to. Kind of almost seems like maybe the pump is losing pressure, like it doesn't have enough volume to it. But yeah, I'll go through and get all that stuff taken care of. And I did give it a two-step. I mean, why not? So we'll hit it here at the light real quick. So what I did was I mounted a little button right there. See if we can make some noise. I'll have to look at that a little more. It's got to be the pump losing pressure. Something. All right, I'll fix all that and I'll make a two-step video. Okay, so getting back, I had nothing but issues yesterday driving over to the AC guy, Sal's Garage. Sam, he's a good dude. Treats me good and does a good job on everything he does, but was just having all those weird issues with the car, like hiccuping and hiccuping. Kind of thought maybe it was a fuel pressure issue, but when I got there and shut the car off, I went in and we came back out. When I went to start the car, the Holley dash said that a TPS auto reset needed to be performed before the initial start or before startup, something like that. And I thought, man, that's weird, I already did it. But it ended up being a bad TPS, which is weird because it was fine right up until I drove over there yesterday. But no big deal. Order one from the parts store, they delivered over there, swap it out, the car fired right back up. And he got the system all charging. So I ended up making the hoses for the Sandin 508 to go on the ICT bracket. A local shop here, they sell like the standard hose with the fittings. So we just buy a length of hose with some fittings and we crimp them up, cut them inside and crimp them up. But the ICT billet bracket, that specifically says, for truck balancer, this, that, and the other thing, for some reason was set back too far. So every time you would drive it a little bit, the belt would walk over 2 or 3 ribs. It would walk off, then it would stay there. And looking at it, you can tell. And then running, I use like a piece of square tube and I run it from the balancer across both sides of the balancer and up, and sure enough the compressor was back, and that idler right there was back about like 3/16 of an inch, which just it was weird to me. So I could have made new spacers, but I ended up just kind of mocking up with some washers to see if that was, you know, would get me out far enough, and ended up just leaving with the washers. I did do the air intake tube, basically just bought a 4-inch 90, cut that leg off, welded it on over here, put a K&N filter. Not quite as big of a filter as I thought it would be, but it works. Not in the most ideal spot. You got the coolant tank there, but you should get enough airflow. And then I noticed when I did the intake tube, this is your manifold air temp sensor, which I said it before, but there's nothing in there. It literally, like, I don't know, somebody pulled it apart, or it's not the right one, whatever. So we got another one of those coming. I got the coil, made a little bracket to hang the coil a little bit lower off to get out of the way of the fuel line, and then come in this morning, and I'm like, okay, you know, well, and then on the way back over, I noticed power steering. Right when I was pulling into the shop here, I noticed the power steering started getting a little tight and making that famous whine noise. So I pulled up and got out and looked, and the hose I had made, apparently the fitting was no good or something, but everything was tight, but it was just puking power steering fluid. So I grabbed new line, new fittings, and it is the Teflon dash 6. So I made that and fixed that. Start the car this morning, and the regulator is squirting fuel out from the base. So I took that apart, which normally I take them apart every single time when I get them, the cheap regulators, but for whatever reason, I don't know, I didn't take this one apart, but I normally do. So I ended up taking it apart. There was, of course, a couple little burrs, and the gasket was a little bit mushed, but, you know, fixed that. You know, I'm happy overall for what this swap is. You know, this is kind of a budget swap. This isn't, you know, high end, use all the fancy brackets and, you know, big shiny Holley intake or something like that. So we kind of use what we have available to us, you know, to keep within the budget. The only thing I don't like the red and blue fittings. I didn't have any more of the black, which is what I normally use, because I like the silver hose with the black fittings. I do like that. But that is all Teflon. I mean, it's just a fitting. It's not, you know, something that can be changed out, not a big deal. But I just don't like the look of it. But other than that, I mean, overall, it came out pretty good. I mean, it's got just a gangled mess of wiring that, you know, that's how it was on the car, and he's not paying to have that all redone. So I kind of have to, what do they call it, turn a blind eye, and just kind of leave that, because it is what it is. But you know, just came out good. It runs good. It runs great. Man, it moves down the road good. Shift points, I played with the shift points a little bit yesterday, but got all these problems worked out, and, you know, he's coming to pick the car up tomorrow, so I want to make sure everything works and everything's good. And, you know, we fixed everything we could this morning that we found, and then I get in the car and fires right up. Everything works great. You know, the dash. So yesterday, when I was making the first part of this video, it wouldn't go on the two-step, which I thought, man, that's weird. You know, it worked at the shop. You know, here's another thing. So of course, this morning, is it the wiring? I checked the ground. The ground is good. You know, the input going to the Holley harness is good. So the only thing it could be is a switch, and of course I twist the switch together and I add it to the dashboard. Right there is a light bulb, and I'm over here pushing the button, and you know, nothing happens. So I tie the two wires together, nothing happens. Not even thinking, you know, the fact that you have to get it up to the RPM for it to activate. So that bulb won't light up until whatever your two-step number is. Car's all warmed up. It's 173 degrees, idling right around 800. I did lean out the idle air fuel and added a couple degrees of timing at idle, and it seemed to kind of smooth it out a little bit. It's got 32 pounds of oil pressure. Oh, the other thing I did add was the vacuum hose to the fuel pressure regulator, so it drops down the fuel. But on dash 2 I set it up for the two-step just so I can see the bulb, and it actually works. So, I mean, why not have a little two-step on your car? So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. This one's done. He's coming to get it tomorrow, and on to the next one, which will most likely be Jeff's S10. And in between kind of getting that done, I have another couple of projects for kind of the circuit stuff that we do. But this one, I'll start tearing this one apart. And sorry about the music, it's not me. And then we have the other big project coming up. So yeah, for now, I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, be notified of new videos. And do me a favor, leave me a comment, and make sure you hit the thumbs up. Thank you.